I'm Kara858, and today we're bringing you Reclamation Season 1, Episode 4. As always, we want to say a huge thank you for your love and support for this campaign. We're bringing you a brand new campaign that we're, of course, very interested in. We're just going to go right into the session, have players introduce who they are, who they're playing, and any projects that they're working on. And we'll start first, of course, with Adrian. Adrian, you'd like to talk about yourself?
Sure thing. Hey, everybody. My name's Adrian, or Aries, and you can find me on the socials at the Adrian Bear. And on this show, I'm playing Jethrin Cloudpaw, the awesome Leonin Paladin, who is sworn to service to this house. And you can also find me playing JCS and Lords of Faerun, although we are on our season break now until we return, which I'm very sad about, but also it's a good show. I'm also the storyteller on Blood in the Bayou and Thala Unbound on the Bear Pen.
Perfect. Next, we have the lovable Reed. You'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and projects that you're working on.
Hello, everyone. I am at Big Dude Reed on the socials. I am playing Kashad Chiron today. You can find me all throughout the internet at this point, including here and occasionally over on the Bear Pen, playing a myriad of characters. And I hope you enjoy everything you find.
All right, perfect. Make our way down. We have the wonderful Di. If you'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and projects you're working on.
Yep. Hi, I'm Di, and I'm playing Mare, middle sister and consummate troublemaker with She tries her best. You can also catch me over on the Bear Pen on Thala Unbound with these fine people, getting up to shenanigans over there as well. You can find me on Twitter at Dichromaniac, where I spend entirely too much of my time.
Twitter does that to a lot of people, just sucks them in like a black hole. And next, of course, we have our wonderful DM, Zach. You'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and projects you're working on.
No, I refuse to talk about myself. My name is Zach. That's all you get at the end.
That's all you get. Access denied. Next, we have the wonderful Aaron. Aaron, you'd like to talk about yourself, who you're playing, and projects you're working on.
I feel like we're about to have like a people's revolt for self-introductions. But I am Timmons, the best butler and probably most reasonable person in this cast. Come at me, Kashad.
Yeah. I was like, pretty close.
You can also find me as the DM for Riverwood Academy, and I've been on a couple different other things around here, so maybe on other future projects soon.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. As for yours truly, I am Kara858. And play the lovable Sweet Bean Abrea, who loves to find out a whole bunch of good stuff and perhaps cause a little chaos along the way, even though they don't realize it. Of course, you can find tons of our products here at, of course, this YouTube channel, as well as our Twitch at twitch.tv/Kara858. As mentioned, Lords of Faerun is currently on season 1 hiatus. But of course, you can be able to find our Bonds Beyond Time. During the time this episode will release, we should also be introducing our new show that's coming out called Fractured Destiny, which is about a campaign where the entire cast is sextuplets. So it's going to be very, very interesting. A whole lot of fun coming across. So super excited for that. And there's another new campaign that'll be also coming out in the near future as well. That'll be streaming on Sundays. So just keep an eye out for all of our TTRPG information at our Twitter, which is The Cookout TTRPGs, for not just that, but also Die Hard Dice giveaways and more. And with that said, I think it's about time to transition to our wonderful DM, Zach. So with that said, Zach, take it away.
Okay. So, in the timeline, there is an event that is going to happen in the background. It will be a story for another time. Several of our players will be having a side mission to travel to Telonia into hostile territory to retrieve a book. That will be a story for another time. In the 2-week period, the others have had some downtime actions that we want to resolve. One or two of them might need a quick scene, but I will be resolving a couple of them here with some summary. Jethrin, I want to let you know that you receive a note from your connections that you have been working with. They tell you that they're not sure exactly what you might do with this information, but it seemed like you might want to know that 6 Griffin riders from the Slate Wing House arrived at the front carrying what they believe to be a special operations team towards the war front. They don't know that much about it. The whole point is that the individuals are shrouded in secrecy. They don't even have any names. But a special operations team has arrived to support the army.
Is there a date attached to that?
Yes, that happens. That happens 8 days into the downtime.
We left on the 2nd day of the 11th month, so this would be the 19th day. Yes?
The 19th day is where we'll pick back up.
11th day of 11th month.
The 11th day is when you get the note.
Okay.
Abrea,
Yes.
you speak with Ian about the anchor. The design that he comes up with is going to cost about 1,000 gold for the container that will actually hold the magical energy that you all are going to try to harness and absorb. It's a special glass that needs to be imported from the south. So it's kind of expensive, and then he needs to pay a craftsman to work with it. So the anchor harness is going to cost 1,000 gold. At least at the moment. More research potentially could find other ways, but that's where you all end up in the 2 days of working with Ian, or the 2 weeks of working with Ian. That's where the two of you end up as the design. The individual that you were speaking with answers your question about why no one can read the spells. I will DM that to you.
Okay.
And then they tell you this doesn't necessarily need to be hidden, so I'll just kind of say it out loud. It will also involve Shay when Shay is back with us, because they have reason to also head in that direction. But the individual tells you that Shia is the person who would be able to help you set up the anchor. The other individuals that you met would not be able to help, but Shia would be able to help you out. No Name Yet grows in these 2 weeks. As we discussed previously, they actually double in size. They're still fairly small, but they are doubled in size. They have the primary change to their stat block that I sent to you is a new HP total.
Oh, okay.
So that will be the primary change to their stat block, and I will just send it to you along with the rest of the information in DM.
Perfect. Sorry. So just to clarify, Ian is going to Abrea is going to take care of obtaining the money, and Ian is going to be the one responsible for reaching out to their contacts to the south. Did I understand that correctly, or did they want us to go down to the south as well to try to obtain some contacts to help build a special glass, this container?
So the glass comes from the south, but it can be purchased in the capital.
Oh,
it's just imported, so it's very expensive because it's already expensive there, and then you have to deal with obviously the logistical costs and the merchant trying to make their own money. So a large portion of that is going to be actually paying for the raw glass, and then Ian's going to pay a craftsman through the castle, one of the people that they do business with, to actually craft that glass into the orb that will be used as the anchor.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. I appreciate the clarification.
Not a problem at all. Juicy stuff coming into your DMs.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look. I'm excited.
Yep, there you go. Kashad, you had asked for a report from Tunok that is coming on, I believe, the 8th, about the other 2 individuals. He was meant to put them through their paces and determine how the the two Dom and Carl would fare as like household soldiers. With that, he tells you Dom is the equivalent of a level 2 fighter, essentially, and Carl is the equivalent of a level 1 fighter. So the information that you get back is that it seems like they have training, not the sort of training that knights get, but it's obvious that someone has taught them some swordplay based on the way that they move, and that they would be adequate soldiers if you were looking for more people to potentially help guard the house.
You said Dom was level 2?
Dom is level 2, Carl is level 1. They're both fighters. Sorry. Let me check my notes. Might have two. So sorry, one moment. Carl is a level 1 ranger. Apologies.
Oh, well, that makes him less useful.
I knew that was coming.
Not for the fact that we hunt things for money because we're a poor house, so it makes it very useful.
We can do that. We can do that ourselves. We don't really need.
Well, so one thing that I will also note is that divine magic is fairly rare. So if he could be potentially leveled up through some training or through the missions that he might encounter, then he will actually be capable of using divine ranger magic, which is useful because it is rare.
Okay.
He can stay if he becomes a Drake Warden.
Would you like to take any action on that report? Do you want to promote them now, or are you going to be sitting on it for a bit?
He would let them officially be employed to be paid, but they would also be training and stuff formally. Let them hunt, like pigs or whatever wild animals exist around our home.
Okay, so you would be employing them as soldiers, but you would be sending them to train. Would you be sending Tunok with them to train them, or the two of them on their own?
When there isn't anything significant happening, they would all go together. But if there was, they would be instructed to like return if they were like dignitaries visiting, or things that I would need everybody to be at the house for.
Yeah, things where you might need more hands on deck.
But other than that, they're grinding, fighting rabbits in the forest.
Okay. Tunok asks you and Jethrin and Abrea if there's been any decision on the matter of who will be leading the house in terms of the captain of the guard. Or he asks, should he expect and wait for everyone else to return before checking in again?
I had put that in my downtime that I suggest Tunok.
Wait, wasn't that one person like level 9 or something like that?
Who was the one guy that would arguably stab us in the back later? Who was that?
Oh, that was the spell.
Somebody Sleepwing?
Oh gosh, what's the name? It's the magic family that we met with.
He's a Bright Weaver. I'm reposting it for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is in the Discord.
We'll let Itchable Bright Weaver be the captain.
So if that does happen, which is fine, there's going to be a scene with you all and Jethrin.
Can we give that guy a different position to not captain and let Tunok be captain? Like, I just make up another position and be like, you can
Second in
you can
command.
be left hand of the heir of the house. That sounds official, right?
Yeah.
This
You
sounds
can-
disrespectful.
You can offer him a different title, and see what he responds. That is up to you.
Okay, we'll roleplay it. We'll roleplay it. We'll do
Okay.
live. We'll do live.
During the downtime, this is the one that will actually require a scene. You receive a message to meet with your employer. The secret one.
Sure. I will agree to meet with him in secret.
Send your DM on Zoom.
Yes, I will meet with this individual.
They tell you, primarily, feel free to ask any questions, but they tell you to keep an eye on Lady Talia Brightweaver.
He will accept naturally.
Do you have any queries, questions, or follow-up that you want to do along with that with this individual?
He would request general information for what is he looking for, economic, that kind of thing.
General information about the status of Lady Talia, or
Yeah, just what exactly should he be looking out for? Is he just looking for like business dealings or like trader? What would be suspicious specifically?
So I will DM that information to you.
Yeah, he will accept. So many secrets.
Okay. So the rest of you all have returned at this point. That is the conclusion of our downtime scenes. What would you all like to do once you return?
I think that Simmons actually wanted to say something to Jethro before they all left, if I'm remembering correctly. If you remember what that was, Aaron.
Yes, I remember what that was.
Okay.
But I mean, I think we can have that same conversation at the end. So we can say that we went,
Okay.
we came back.
Cool.
Kind of one of those like, okay, we couldn't do it before. Well, it's fine. I'll get to it.
Sure.
It's fine. So as we return, can we get a hint about like, are we returning in dejected misery or missing limbs or happy?
You all return successful without, surprisingly, ever feeling that you were in too much danger.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so Jethro would not be the first person I talked to because we'd have to report in to Kashad and everything, but he'd be very up there in terms of my priorities.
I think where Brea hears interest into the house, Brea kind of like bring their nose into the air and then takes a couple of sniffs. And when they recognize the smell, you just hear the little feet go. As they run down, and of course gives first a huge hug to Mary, like, Mary, you're back. Pew. How did it go?
I wrap them up in a big hug. We survived. It is excellent to be home, though. I miss you.
I miss you too. Welcome back. I'm glad you came back okay with no scars or weird things on your eyebrows like before.
Me too. It was, well, we'll talk about it another day, but it's good to be home. How's No Name Yet?
No Name Yet is much bigger now. They're upstairs now. They're eating their Wheaties. Not Wheaties. they're eating their food a lot. You can definitely see the growth.
Well, that's good. They must be happy here. I'm glad to hear you're taking excellent care of them.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. Oh, and things have been changing. Things are really different now. And they kind of look around. He says, I will show you something later, okay?
Okay, I can't wait.
Okay. And I look towards Shay and Timmons. It says, you all are okay too, right? No one's hurt. Everyone's come back okay. Do y'all come in together? Or do y'all come in go in separate ways?
No, we're all there. It's fine. I kind of forgot that there wasn't another person in order to answer that question. So my apologies on the delay.
No worries. No problem.
Timmons, places a hand on your shoulder and is like, yes, I'm very happy to be back. Did you have a good, couple of weeks?
I learned a lot. And I'm really different now.
Really? Well, I'm very happy to hear you were taking your studies seriously. That's phenomenal.
That too. The cat says hello.
Yes, I think I hear No Name Yet up in your room.
Yeah, I studied in multiple ways. Oh, I think No Name Yet is really hungry. I'll be right back. They'll go out and go grab probably some chicken from outside and up to No Name Yet's room to go feed him.
A question, DM. What time of day do they arrive back? Have they been traveling all day, or?
No, they come into port in the morning.
So they get to the house like
grumpy-ish from sleeping on a boat, probably.
So they get to the house like late morning, I guess, or early afternoon.
Late morning.
Okay. Jethrin is spending the morning actually chilling with Lady Chiron and reading some books with her and just chatting. So if you were looking for Jethrin, that's where he'll be, chilling with your mother.
Timmons is one of those obnoxious people that actually does unpack once they get home. So there's going to be a little bit of that, and then Timmons is going to run the whole house and see that did things maintain at my standard in my absence kind of thing. And quickly take a moment to look over the lunch preparations to make sure they're up to par. But I imagine at some point while I'm running the house, I will probably run into Jethrin.
Yeah, you would definitely notice Abrea's room is one of perhaps the cleanest you've ever seen. Which makes a lot of sense. If you looked at the downtime notes, they were at Ian's house the entire time. So they didn't have much time to actually create much chaos in their room. So it's like strangely clean. Like, how did they get so clean while you were gone?
I need to DM you one more thing that you learn in that downtime, Kira.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Can you, bigger than Breadbox, kind of describe how big No Name Yet is? Like, in terms of double of size, does that put him at, I don't know. How big is that?
Small chicken to medium chicken.
Give me a moment.
Units of measurement?
The standard measurement here is chicken.
Is chicken?
Everything is described in chicken length.
I have not seen enough chickens in my life to use that measurement.
The biggest measurement is a rooster.
Oh yeah, easily.
But they're colloquially called something that we can't say on Kira's channel.
He was about 5 inches tall, so now he's about 10 inches tall.
It's about a feet, almost a foot.
Right.
Small chicken to medium chicken.
What's that, like 32 centimeters, 30 centimeters?
25.
25? Okay. Sorry, I remember that you
Yeah.
wear inches, but I know inches not everywhere, so.
Medium to large chicken. I'm sitting in the I guess drawing room or wherever it is that Lady Chiron is chilling, and just having a conversation with her and saying, I've actually been working on a new piece for the flute. I haven't quite got it all yet, my lady, but I think once it's done, I'll be sure to play it for you.
That would be excellent. Apologies for the interruption, Jethrin. I do believe I hear the sound of people returning. I have some work for Shay to do. If you don't mind, I'm going to go speak to him really quick.
Not at all.
And while Ari is not available, Shay is going to come right back to running a bunch of errands for Lady Chiron because he does a better job cleaning garments and sewing and repairing things than anyone else in the house.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that is where you would find me, Timmons, if that's where you were looking for me.
Yeah, can we say that that's roughly about the time that I end up in that area of the house?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, so Jasmine.
I see you returned safely. Thank goodness.
Well, someone must have been watching out for us. It was relatively uneventful, honestly.
How is the capital, their capital?
Hey, all-knowing and all good DM. How is the capital there?
Why must you guys ask questions that you know are gonna jack with stuff? Like why do you do this to me? Their capital is heavily artificed. You noticed that they had Magitech lanterns that were lining the streets. There was some sort of weird thing on like a track system that was almost like a cart, but had people hopping on and off of it as it traveled through the city. It was very, very strange. Clearly a different sort of people in Telonia, at least in the capital.
I have to say, Sir Jethrin, it is unlike anything I've ever seen.
I know you were all keeping a low profile as much as possible, but by any chance, did you have the time to just get a gauge on people's feelings about our country or the war? Is there no war in Ba Sing Se?
How much rope I got here, Zach?
I mean, you can roll to see what you may have learned while you were there.
Yeah. What am I, insight rolling a populace? What am I doing here?
No, you're gonna perception roll to see what sort of information might have leaked to your ears.
Cool. So that is a 13.
You know, it seemed like people were just going about their daily business. Surely there are people who are discussing such matters, but it didn't seem to have affected any of the populace that you encountered, which sort of makes sense because nobody really seemed all that bothered about the ongoing war in Darkstar either. So
Yeah. I mean, no, Not really. I mean, I wasn't traipsing about with like the kind of people who'd be making decisions, but on the street, people seemed pretty normal. Kind of like out there, and it's just going to gesture towards the rest of the city.
Just wish I knew exactly why it is that there's this fighting.
Well, I find that generally speaking, war serves the needs of very, very few. Oh, yeah. I did want to speak to you about something. I intended to talk to you before we left, so my apologies at the delayed conversation. But I wanted to say thank you. Yeah, no, it's been very... It is a lot to protect this house sometimes. You and I work well as a team in kind of the more dangerous situations, but it was... I could focus on what I needed to do because I knew that you were taking care of things here. And I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, Miss Timmons.
Thank you, Sir Jethro.
That means a great deal to me. You are, for all intents and purposes, more akin to a second mother, if you will, than other people that I might have around here. So that means a lot.
Yeah. Hopefully I fulfill that role well. But no doubt you would have preferred to go. And I recognize that it is less than ideal that you would need to stay. But I appreciate you doing it.
Well, hopefully my time spent here has been useful to the house. I have gotten some news that I'm not sure is necessary just yet to give to anybody, but if anything comes from it, I'll let you know. Just news from the front.
Oh. I wasn't aware that you received news from the front.
Well, I've made special friends that seem to have good information. And Jethro does look around the room, sort of indicating that who knows if we're being listened to.
Yep, special friends and special places can be very useful. Do let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Now, well, where is everyone else? Shall we go and we'll gather all together?
I'm going to go check.
Roll me perception checks, the two of you.
Ooh.
Okay.
Something I'm notoriously bad at. Let's find out. Oh, that's better.
15.
18.
Okay, no mind the things happening behind the curtain.
All right. I'm going to go check on some how the lunch is coming along. Maybe if you could convince others to head that direction, we could have a reunion lunch.
That sounds like an excellent idea. I will go and see where Master Kashad is. I imagine that Mr. Smarovna is either changing from the journey or reporting to Master Kashad. So I will make my way there.
We'll check in with Jethrin and Mare in just a moment. First, Timmons, I need you to make me an insight check at disadvantage.
Okie doke. All right. Well, if it hadn't been disadvantaged, it would have been a natural 20. But instead, it's only a 19.
So these things go. You know, It's odd. As you come down into the kitchen, lunch seems to be generally being prepared, but you also notice that no one is in the kitchen at this exact moment. It's strange that they're in the middle of preparing lunch, and yet somehow neither of the servants that you know of who should be working on lunch nor Shay are in there. It gives you just enough to click in your head that something is amiss, and therefore you will not be at disadvantage on this check. Please make me an athletics check.
Wonderful. I am even better at athletics. That's a 5.
You are grabbed from behind and frozen. You cannot seem to move.
Ooh.
You can feel the hands kind of grabbing around your arms, holding you in place, but it's an iron grip. Now, Timmons, my dear, it seems your skills aren't quite up to snuff.
Who is it?
You turn. It was one of the people.
Can I turn?
He lets go, and you can turn. It is a man.
If I'm turning, I'm attacking.
You can try.
All right. Hold on. I guess this would be an unarmed strike because I probably don't have the spear out.
You do not.
It's Daddy. Daddy ain't dead.
Hold on. Man, why are my rolls all 10s today? So it's a 16 to hit?
It does not hit. You see a man in a tuxedo who swipes your blow to the side. No. There's no need for any of this.
I know this person, don't I?
You do. It was one of the people involved in your training.
Yeah. Timmons allows herself 5 full seconds of like self-loathing and fury and frustration. Like a full 5 count before she just kind of like pulls back into her butler persona and is like, what's his name?
I understand being perturbed, but you'll understand it's rather difficult to test someone if they know that it's coming.
Do I know this individual's name?
Yeah. It's Gerald.
Gerald. Yeah, I'm probably not going to call him Gerald. Does he got a last name, a surname, a house something?
His last name is Nightingale.
Well, Mr. Nightingale, you will understand my concern at not seeing my staff in their positions.
Yes, rather lovely, polite, and suggestible staff that you have. I was able to get them in on the joke with me a bit, as it were.
I see.
Indeed.
Of course, please make yourself comfortable. I will get some tea prepared.
Very well.
Oh man, Timmons is like legitimately angry right now.
Mm-hmm.
But go get the tea.
Unbuttons the tuxedo, crosses his legs, sort of watches you going about your duties until you go out of sight.
I pour a perfect cup of tea, then return it to him.
Full of poison. Wait, what?
Here you are. How may I be of assistance?
Oh, I was just testing you. I didn't plan to stay, but when offered tea, it would seem impolite to refuse.
You certainly wouldn't want to be impolite.
Indeed.
Okay, so I don't remember. Before we left, did I talk to anyone or not?
You said you were going to try to, right?
Yeah.
The message was sent, but you received no response.
Got you.
Before you left, anyway. Although, it appears you've gotten a response.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. I think Timmons spends a lot of time trying to think about what
is your
information to talk about.
AC?
16.
A small throwing knife goes into your left thigh. You barely even see him draw it, just one fluid motion.
Without showing any pain, I will take it out, clean it off, and put it on the table between us.
I understand. I should warn you. There are going to be 3 tests, and so far there has been 2.
I appreciate the forewarning. Aaron wants to attack him. Timmons is a better person than I am because Aaron wants to attack him.
I mean, you can do whatever you think Timmons would do. It is unlikely that someone from your organization would kill you in your own home, though they might meet you in the tussle.
I mean, the fact that they're in my home at all is, it rankles. It rankles. I must admit, I don't have a lot of time to spend on this.
Yes,
it's almost time to serve lunch.
Message received. Lunch is important. Did you need anything from me before I depart?
A general update on things would be helpful.
What things would you like to be updated on?
Oh, man. I have heard a great number of concerning rumors concerning specific individuals and places of power. I don't wish to put anyone's professional integrity at risk, but there are individuals that I would like to be aware of their general situation if possible.
Very well. Which individuals?
I am going to list a number of people at this point. I'm going to list the Brightweavers, the Bloodbeards, the person that the Bloodbeard son recommended for our house in particular, as well as... Oh man, how deep do I want to go? How much do I trust this person?
I mean, I doubt you trust anyone, like, absolutely and unequivocally. But, like, this person was...
Professional trust do I have? Yeah.
So, we haven't especially been over this when we've been discussing it, but there's, like, a council of 3 that sees to the overall training and duties of the others as they come up through the ranks. This is one of the 3. So in terms of the amount that someone could be plugged in, he's up there.
Okay. I will add Kurt Spiderglade to that list. As well as Lady Goldheart. And I'm going to be very conspicuous in not adding any member of the royal family. Like, I'm gonna do the thing where it's like the absence is obvious.
So I want to make sure that I understand your request before I start going through it. Timmons is generally requesting a status report on these people. She's not asking specific questions about it. She's like kind of saying, I'm interested in these topics if you're willing to discuss any of them. What information do you have on them that you're willing to share?
Yeah, because I think that there is kind of this like your first duties to your house, but we're all, very tightly knit as a order. So like there's an implicit understanding every time you ask a question that like sometimes the answer is there is no answer. So it's
Simmons is a Tremere?
cautious. Hey, you know what?
Well,
You can't prove I'm not.
Well, Lady Goldheart is trapped in a gold cage of her own making. It makes things quite difficult to her, but as far as I understand it, she is in impeccable health. Kurt Spiderglade is a strange individual. He seems almost inhuman, which is an odd quality for someone who is clearly a human. To my understanding, he is at the front with the prince protecting him as is his duty. Ichabod Browweaver is someone who is known to me. He is about the same age as you, as I understand it. He was a competent mage knight. He fulfilled his duties well, being a captain originally. As far as I understand it, he could be a bit of a harsh instructor, but was otherwise rather skilled at what he was able to accomplish, both in rudimentary magics and in the martial duties of one who wears plate mail and swings a large sword. The Brightweavers themselves are interesting. You see, the queen has herself a little baby archmage, as well as an archmage of her own. It makes people whose responsibility it is to do magic a bit nervous, understandably so. It seems that Lady Talia has been trying to collect some of her colleagues and make connections with them, which normally would not be odd, except that it is uncharacteristic for her. That does make it a bit strange. The Bloodbeards themselves are as honorable and stout and unassuming of soldiers as one might possibly find. They come from a long line. I would love to give you some dirt on them. Unfortunately, it seems that genuinely in this case, there literally is none. It's rather aggravating. He, notably, does not give you any information on the royal family, aside from that Kurt is with the prince.
Sorry, it was night what? Night queen? Night sail? Nightingale?
Nightingale? Yeah. Gerald Nightingale.
Gerald. Oh, Gerald.
Gerard Depardieu.
Gerard.
Okay. I see. I appreciate your information, Mr. Nightingale. Was there anything I could do for you?
Not at this moment, though I suppose that it's likely that that could change in the future.
I mean, earthquakes, rumors of war, things do seem interesting lately.
You were curious about the earthquake.
I thought an earthquake is an earthquake. No?
Sometimes.
And sometimes it is.
I don't know. That's the thing. Earthquakes don't normally happen in Darkstar, so it could just be an earthquake. I'm not really the tectonic plate movements of the earth. These things are not generally my core competency. But I don't know anything about it. Sort of was hoping that you did.
Firstly, do I believe him? Secondly, did I learn anything on my journey about earthquakes?
First, roll it. Insight check. Secondly,
Okay.
no.
Oh. I rolled a natural 20 on the insight. So that's a total of 29.
Yeah. He does not seem to know anything about it. Aside from the rather obvious information that he experienced it and knew that it happened, he does not seem to know anything further. And with the natural 20, you do learn that he is especially and specifically curious as to information about that.
Understood. Well, although I do not yet have any information on earthquakes, should I learn something, I will endeavor to make you aware of it post haste.
Indeed. Should you be looking for me, you will find me specifically as the primary server at the Marger's Steakhouse.
At the Marger's Steakhouse?
Yeah, I can post it in chat if you want the
Thank you.
proper spelling.
Am I aware of this establishment?
The restaurant, the Marger's Steakhouse?
Yeah.
It is literally a fancy restaurant in the capital. The member of the council to whom you are speaking is literally a butler in addition to his other things. So he works as a host at the behest of the family that he serves at the Marger's Steakhouse.
As it should be. There's no higher calling than duty.
Indeed.
Well,
thank you for the tea. Should I have any further questions or things that I do need to know about that you might have information on, I will certainly be in touch.
ATM, I want to use a key point to use patient defense before this in conversation happens.
You use a key point to use patient defense. He takes out a compass, looks at it, puts it back into his vest pocket, and he says, well, as I said, you can find me at the Marger's Steakhouse. Smooths out his tux, buttons it back up, and without attacking you, leaves the home through the front door.
Can I escort him to the front door and ask him a question at the door?
You may.
So as we get to the third one, or as we get to the door, I'll ask him, so, did I do better on the third test than I did on the first two?
Better? Yes.
Gratifying to hear that improvement is possible.
What is your passive insight?
19.
Give me a separate insight check.
We spent excellent 20 on that one. 21. No, sorry, 20. No, 21.
That's enough. You needed over 20. You recognize as you're kind of speaking to him, getting ready to depart, asking about the test, that the third test was the gauging of your reaction to the knowledge that there would be 3 tests and how you conducted yourself believing that there was something further coming. It was a ruse. That was the test.
Yeah, that is the test. Exactly. I would appreciate if you gave us notice in advance, should you like to request an audience at House Chiron again.
I imagine that you would.
Excellent.
Good day.
Goodbye, Mr. Nightingale. And Timmons is not going to go back to the kitchen. Timmons is going to go up to her room and lock the door. And Timmons is going to take probably all of lunch to calm down to the point that she does not destroy some staff.
Understood.
She's quite angry, so she's going to she's aware of her anger and she's going to go try and take it out in more productive means.
Rightfully angry because Gerard is a bitch.
No, she's not. She's not angry at Nightingale at all. She believes him when he said, "Oh, the staff are willing to help me on this little prank. They let me in," and she's furious about that. So she's gonna go. She's gonna go work that out.
All right. So I think after feeding no name yet, they're going to go to where Mara is and knock on her door. It's like, Mara, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just finishing getting changed to the boat and road, and it was awful.
Okay. Can I come in?
Of course, always.
Okay, and then they'll kind of scoot through the door. It says, okay, so I have learned quite a bit of things along the way, and I want to show you something.
Of course. Mare sits on the bed, tying one of her shoes. Space in her.
They sit down cross-legged, and you see them just kind of grab the side of their knees, and you kind of see little runes of greenish nature start to spread around them, almost like a circle. And even though, is your window open or is your window closed?
It's probably just cracked a little bit.
So even though it's a little crack, you can start to feel a little bit of a breeze starting to make its way inside. And as this breeze starts to whirl a bit, you notice the green runes starts to pulse a little bit and echo from a very slow, steady pace to a little bit more rapid. And then they're going to use one of their wild shapes to cast a wild companion, and a hawk disappears from the runes and is summoned from the side. It's like, look, I can now have a friend too, another friend. I don't have a name yet, so I can't name them no name yet too. But we'll work on it. But there's so many things I could do. And when they cross their legs, you just see their eyes go white, and then the eyes on the hawk starts to shift towards you. It says, "I could see you through the hawk."
Oh,
Where are you at currently?
Oh, in Mare's room, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Through the eyes of the hawk.
Mm-hmm.
The door is closed.
yes. And if they closed it behind them when they came in.
Oh yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I closed it behind us. Was finished. But
You see the door move forward as if something is hitting against it. As you hear a thunk into the door.
As they turn around to the side, you see their eyes shift from their cloudy white to back to their natural color. It's like, oh, it's no name yet. Okay. And then they'll go ahead and open the door. I'm presuming no name yet is relatively familiar now with when I bring forth the companions. As I open the door, it's like, look, I brought a friend with us.
No name yet, sniffing, runs around in the room a little bit, and then looks up and does exactly what they've done every time they've seen the hawk or one of your animal companions. They crouch and leap up into the air, getting nowhere close to that hawk, but trying to jump up at it.
Don't worry, you'll get it in no time. But please don't do it, because I only can do this a couple of times a day.
After about 3 jumps, No Name Yet realizes that they're not going to get anywhere near the hawk. And then, Mare, what sort of bed do you have? Is it elevated on like a frame?
Yeah, I would imagine that it is a relatively elevated, maybe 6 inches off the ground, wooden, probably either has posts or a decently carved like headboard on it.
No name yet, ducks down and disappears under your bed.
Oh.
We can see you, right? You're right there. We gotta work on your stealth. It's okay. I understand you don't have to really hunt right now for food. We'll practice with that. We promise. It's like, oh boy, I gotta work. I'll be like, oh okay. So they're definitely keeping that in mind. I was just like, they just look over and just see the right underneath the bed, just like. Go ahead.
I was saying, is their tail like sticking out?
Yeah. So they curl into a ball and go to sleep.
Oh, okay. I thought they were trying to like hide and wait for the hawk to get down low and to pounce on them. Okay, good. Thanks for that clarification. He's like, oh
no. So you would be familiar enough with animal behavior to tell they're hiding from the hawk because it can't get to them while it's under the bed. So they curled up to go to sleep under the protection of the bed. It is actually like predator behavior. You very specifically notice it.
I see.
Oh, poor thing. I don't think I don't think they like your hawk very much.
Yeah, I guess so. It kind of makes sense. It's like a competitiveness. Yeah, well, at least they're falling asleep right now, so I'll just have to keep an eye out for that.
Maybe we can work on acclimating them to each other. Try to feed them together. Does the hawk eat?
No, it doesn't need to. I can though. I think I'm not sure if they would eat it though, but they don't need to.
Interesting. I mean, it's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Where does it come from?
Would I know that it would come from the Feywild? I'm presuming it comes from someplace different because it's like an animal, but not really an animal. So I'm not sure exactly where it comes from. But the fact that it doesn't need to eat gives me a feeling that it's not really like a regular animal.
Yeah, and that probably is why No Name Yet isn't really comfortable around him. Can I put my arm out and see if the hawk will come to me?
I mean, animal handling check.
Let's see.
Has anything from Abrea rubbed off? Let's see.
Yep, let's see. Well, it's +0. Oh, it's a 12.
Okay. It kind of circles a bit and then goes down and lands on your shoulder instead of your outstretched arm.
Fair enough. You're pretty.
Mm-hmm. And I have a really good plan. You want to hear it?
I always love your plans.
Okay. So, just to clarify, I'm presuming during our 2 weeks, we would have talked about the True Sight spell and how the True Sight spell can be cast on another willing creature, stuff like that, right? It was just more during the first time when he first cast it.
Do you ask him about it?
Yeah, that's what I definitely would have asked a bit more. Yeah. So they would have stated, so the spell that allows you to be able to see like people's true colors, like the real world, they could cast it on others, and it's much cheaper than the scroll. So I was thinking we could have Ian cast True Sight on my hawk. And then the hawk will fly around and I can see through the hawk. And we can try to find the people that way.
If it would work, that's a brilliant idea. I'm not sure if the spells that Ian can cast are well beyond anything that I understand.
Oh, I can do it.
But, and I'm not really sure how you can see through the eyes of the hawk either, although it is really, really fun.
Yeah, it's so cool. I was like, when I found out about this tour of the weeks, the first thing I thought was like, I have to show you. Oh, there's so much more stuff I have to show you too, but this is just one of the first things. But I wanted to tell you that this first because of my plan, and I think with this plan, if we work together, we can finally. Because nobody's going to suspect the hawk. It's just a hawk, so they're not going to see a hawk and be like, oh, this person is dangerous and try to shoot it or anything. I don't think, right?
No, I mean, people generally don't hunt hawks anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And unless the hawk ran into, another hawk, if someone was out hawking for rabbits or other small game, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
And we can get into places and at times that normally it wouldn't be, we couldn't go.
Oh yeah, I could do that anytime. That's more for. I was more talking about like the true sight. The true sight, I have to ask Ian because only Ian could do it. But I could do this like plenty of times. I just need to rest a bit sometimes when I do it more than once.
Of course, it seems very tiring, exhausting. Oh,
Question, DM: would Jethro just about have made his way to Mir's room?
Sure.
Just gonna knock on the door unless the door is still open. I guess you closed the door. I don't know.
Yeah, I closed the door, but it's okay.
All right, knock on the door. Mr. Smarobina?
yes, Jethrin, you may enter.
I'm happy to see you are alive and well. I was just chatting with Miss Timmons and gathering everyone for lunch. So I thought I would check in on your brother and then make my way to the lunch table.
That sounds lovely. Bria, shall we?
Okay. And they'll look towards the hawk. First, they'll grab No Name Yet from underneath the bed. He says, "1 second, we're going to put No Name Yet back to their sleepy cupboard."
Of course.
And
It's getting so big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just a couple of weeks. You already got double their size, Suze. I won't be able to do this anymore because I'm strong, but I'm not that strong.
Is it big enough for me to tell as an Adrian if it's a dino lie or a dino real yet? I.e. feathers, no feathers.
You see no feathers.
So it's a dino lie, okay.
Right now, anyway, right now. Give us the time.
It's a fantasy world. I can do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, I grew up with dino lies, and I'm all for it. It's still difficult for me to see them as giant murder chickens, but,
Murder chickens. So Brea would definitely scoop them up, place them back in the sleeper arrangement, make sure to put some meat to the side of them, and then after that, have the hawk just pop on their shoulder and follow Mare and Jethro.
I'm just going to Kashad to inform him for lunch. That's about it.
Okay. Are we going to eat lunch now, or is it in a minute?
No, I needed to speak to Kashad. I haven't met with our brother yet. I was getting changed first. So if you don't mind, I'd like to come with you.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
My office. Okay. Wait, where's Timmons?
I assume ensuring preparations for lunch were up to her impeccable standards.
I'm surprised she didn't talk about my room. It's super clean. Like, much cleaner than normal.
Maybe she just hasn't had a chance to run into you yet.
That's true.
That is a valid point.
Probably get a chance to see. Yeah, that's true. Okay. And they'll,
Where is Master Kashad on this day? In the study?
Kashad is in his personal area. As you all go to search for him, The door will be unlocked but not open, and if you decide to open it, you will see that Kashad is visibly concentrating on what looks to be like a small black sphere of dark void space in the palm of his hand, and you can see just almost as if you're looking through the side of your eye, your peripheral vision, what looks to be like large tentacles moving, but as you try to focus on them, they seem to fade away. And he has his back turned to the door.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one that got new tricks.
I should say, leave for 2 weeks, and seems like everyone got a little more interesting.
Does it still feel weird, Kashad?
I suppose so, though it is of no real consequence. And he will slowly close his hands and force the sphere of darkness to disappear. I'm glad to see you have returned.
It's good to be back. I don't know if I would call whatever that was of no real consequence. That was... I just worry about you. I want to make sure that you're safe and not meddling with anything, and I know how this sounds coming from me, dangerous.
I appreciate your concern, but this seems to be a part of me now, and I must understand it if I'm to control it.
Of course. I mean, yes, we all have, seen what Brea can do now is part of them, and I certainly can't do anything on the level that the two of you can, but improving. Timmons taught me a little bit about improving my physical abilities on our trip, moving out of the way of potential harms. And so it just seems like perhaps this is another part of you, like your arms or your legs or speaking to nature. And I understand that. It just seems so much darker.
Perhaps, but I can assure you I am being as safe as need be. Will you tell me about your trip?
It was surprisingly uneventful, and it was successful. And you can sleep soundly in the knowledge that no dishonor will come to our name and our house for our exploits.
It's the utmost important, but the fact that you have returned is sufficient for me. Your survival is more important.
Indeed, I'm glad that this debt has been paid, and it's not... I would so love to travel again maybe not under the threat of war this time. I think you would enjoy the library.
Perhaps, but I fear there will be much more destruction before such a thing is possible.
True. But maybe someday.
Maybe someday. And what other things have you learned, Aurea?
Oh, they'll point to the hawk. Like, oh, remember I could do this at the hawk? And I told Mare about my idea. I have a really, really, really good idea. So, my idea is we go to Ian and we give Ian 20, I think, I forgot how much it costs. I think it's like 25, 30 gold, 40 gold, 50 gold. What else do? But we give them gold and they cast True Sight on my hawk. And then I can see through the hawk. And then we have the hawk fly around and look around to find the shape changer. And then we can find
my eyes are literally wide at this point. Master Kashad, does everything seem to be in order right now?
I will use C invisibility, Dungeon Master.
You're using C invisibility?
Yes.
You see nothing invisible in the room currently.
You're free to speak freely.
I was just being paranoid there, Bray.
Oh, no worries. Oh, I thank you. Thank you. I forgot sometimes. I really hope they're not spying on us, but they could be. But yeah, so we could put the really good vision sight on my hawk, and then we could have the hawk fly around and try to locate where this the shape changer is. And then once we find them, we could get them and bring them to justice. So therefore, we don't have to worry about them anymore. Right?
That is an interesting idea.
I have a mind for the military.
Oh wait, I get teeth all the time, so I guess it kind of sinks in. I guess.
I imagine such a spell would not be cheap, though, but you may speak with the prince about it if they have the time to converse with him.
Okay. Thank you. And then we shall find them, and we will be heroes. And then our names will go on in legacy as the one who stopped this person from trying to be everyone, including our cook. How dare they become our cook? I'm still upset about that.
I mean, I still eat the food. I just worry about it every time.
Do either of you sense any of those entities nearby?
I will use Divine Sense.
And I will use primeval awareness. Yeah, I think it is primeval awareness for the full mile. Just to recap what it doesn't give me the exact number or where they're specifically located, but it gives me within a 1 mile radius. Particularly, give me 1 second while I bring up the exact list because it's relatively long. I know there's celestials, fiends, and what are the other ones? Yes. So aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Bray gets much more than I do, but I just get the room. Celestials and fiends and undead.
There's a celestial and an aberration present within your radius.
It's the same aberration as celestial. Nothing more than that.
The fiend is not present.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know about you, Jethrin?
I believe, as our door is closed currently, I imagine the door to this room is closed currently. Yes?
I presume so.
I'm not picking up anything currently, I believe, my lord, because no name yet's upstairs, right?
Wait, is your room on the same floor as my bedroom?
I imagine a door would be total cover, right?
Yeah, it will be turtle cover. Yes. Yeah, you would
so
have been.
then I would only pick up this room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are you able to sense, Jethrin?
Celestials, fiends, and undead.
Okay, yeah, nothing here.
I need to define this operation soon, but was there something else that you all needed to bring up with me?
Not that I can think of, at least for the moment.
Do you have some way to make money?
There are plenty of ways to make money. Why?
Oh, I could tell when things get time progress, especially when we're talking about spell components. It's going to get expensive. So I would have money prepared. So therefore, would I learn new spells? Like for the true sight, I know Ian's is the principal, but I don't want him to keep fitting the bill. I want to pay him so he could, and so he doesn't feel like I'm using him for his spell. So I want to pay him the money for the spell, but like that costs money. So I want to make sure I have tons of money available for like if we need to do true sight more than once and stuff.
Very well, there are things that can be done. Miss Bright Weaver is looking for materials. That may be something to look into. I believe House Slatewing is always looking for information on magical creatures. There's always beasts to hunt.
Yes, House Slatewing. I mentioned this to Miss Timmons, but I got some information from some friends, but I don't know necessarily if it is anything to, if it's anything really. It's just a bit of information. I was unaware that the Griffin Riders had sort of a special force. Was I? I was not aware, was I? That they had a special forces division, basically.
They were bringing it. The Griffin Riders function as scouts, and your information said that they were bringing a special ops team with them. Multiple people riding on the Griffins.
Oh, okay. So the Griffins are delivering a special. I thought this was a specialized. So I misunderstood that.
No, the Griffins are a very easy way to travel a small group of people to the front quickly.
Okay. Just some news about the front, but I'm not sure it's anything just yet. But if it becomes anything, I'll make sure to let everyone know.
Very well.
Other than that, I believe Miss Timms is collecting lunch for us, and it's been a while since we've all eaten together as a house.
That's true. Where's Timmons at? Is Timmons here? We haven't seen her. I think I'll be right back. And with the hawk, they would probably run over to. Did they happen to chance see where Timmons may have went to, or is Timmons like locked up somewhere? Oh, see, I know where Timmons is, but I was wondering, did I get like a hint?
Brad doesn't know.
Prison?
They'll start walking down the hall like, Timmons, Miss Timmons, are you around here? Timmons. Hello?
I imagine she is in the living quarters or in the kitchen, though I could summon however you prefer.
Yeah, I would like to see her, but especially before we go see Ian. Eat. Well, we will eat first and then go see Ian, but...
Timmons, please meet us in the living area, and I will cast Sending to Timmons.
Oh. Favorite spell.
Understood.
Yeah.
That is such a noble use of a third level spell slot.
That is a
using it like a freaking intercom.
I don't know what you expected from me.
Exactly that.
We may be a lesser noble house, but we don't have any of those like tawdry looking bells that you ring. No. We cast Sending.
I love it.
By the way, just in case you were curious, there is no such bell because Lady Kyran presents them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Abrea would have liked them anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I imagine Timmons would have opinions that she would not share about those bells if you did have them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
All right. And Brea will follow suit with the hawk.
When you arrive, you go to the castle?
So yeah, I think we were going to eat dinner first, and then we were going to go to the castle. By chance, who was going to go with the castle with me? Would it have been everyone? Would it have been Mare? Who else? Okay, yeah, Mare would be going because she's dropping off the book. Who else would be going to the castle?
I have a question. Has Ian allowed me back?
Oh, yeah, you did get timed out for a second. You made a boo-boo talk about his mama.
He said, I don't want to see you. And he basically lives in his room. So he didn't ban you from the castle. He basically, Dad, get out of my room to you.
Yeah, I know, but it's been 2 weeks, and Obrea's been there every day. So when Jethrin is not doing his stuff, he'll be with Obrea. So he's been waiting outside. I want to know in those 2 weeks, has anything changed?
Have you been trying to advocate for your bodyguard in the meantime, Obrea?
If Jethrin's been asking for it, yeah. I wasn't sure.
Jethrin would not directly ask, no.
Oh,
Until otherwise instructed, he will wait outside the door.
okay. Would Albrea have detected that you would want to go inside? Because if not, they would have never known. They would just assume you're okay with waiting outside.
Roll me an insight check.
Yeah, that'd be best. 13.
I would say that the information that Abrea has is that generally when accompanying you, Jethrin prefers to be directly by your side. And this seems to have deviated from his preference.
Okay. So in that case, Abrea, towards the later half of the second week, would have asked about, see if they could advocate for Jethrin and see if they could be able to stay aside. But only if Ian feels comfortable with Jethrin to be aside. If Ian doesn't feel comfortable, then sorry, can't do much there.
He would have kind of looked at you and given you a little bit of a perplexed look. And he's like, you do remember, right, that he basically said my mom, the queen, was a narc somehow, right?
I remember it, so that's what maybe he kind of learned his lesson now, because people just say things sometimes. Like I said, I learned adults are really weird. Like when we went to the Feywild, they were this close to try to kill each other. I was just like, why do adults always try to be so dangerous and always threaten people? It was just us kids that really could be able to conversate and just have a great time. So, sometimes adults just do things.
Roll me a persuasion check.
All right, 11 plus 4, 15.
Okay.
All right, Ian can say no. He just did
So-
just asking it.
Here's what would happen.
Uh-huh.
He would open the door to Jethrin and say, "All right, Sir Cloudpaw, I'm willing to see your face again on one condition."
What is it, Your Highness? I am at your disposal.
If you talk about my mom again, I'm gonna smack you. And then he looks you up and down a little bit and he goes, I'm gonna have one of the guards smack you.
I will come down to eye level and offer him a cheek.
Not this time. It's not fair if you haven't earned it. I didn't warn you until just now.
As you say, Your Highness. Wait, Your Highness was what we stuck with, right? It's not my lord, it's Your Highness, right?
Your Highness or Princess, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, if that's the case, then, so then...
Roll me a
everyone goes to the
perception
castle,
check.
go to the castle. Everyone?
No, just you, Jethrin.
All right. I think that's a 6.
You get you some new dice. You can't tell a number.
6. No, I just couldn't remember because Jesse's got that crazy perception, but Jethro does not. Lots of J names. Yes, 6.
Okay. The only thing that you do notice is that Ian's cheeks are a little bit red. Can't say why really, but his cheeks are a little bit red as he's talking to you. And he goes, okay, well, now that unpleasantness is out of the way. And then he goes back to the goes back to his bed, continues talking to Abrea. Jethrin, you would kind of get this general sense of what they're working on, and as far as you can tell, it's basically the anchor the rest of the week. And both of you notice that like Ian's pretty thrilled with No Name yet, and his presence. He seems to like the animal quite a bit.
Perfect. All right. So Jethro will be coming with us. Bear is definitely coming. I think I saw Kashad is not coming, right? Yeah, he's not coming. Yeah, Kashad did not go to the castle. Okay. So I'm guessing Tibbetts, you'll probably stay behind to keep an eye out on Kashad.
Correct.
All right, gotcha. Okay, so be the three of us.
When you arrive at the castle, you make your way towards Ian's room, and the guard outside speaks to you. Says, "Sorry, young master. I'm afraid that you won't be able to. You won't be able to meet with His Highness today."
Oh, okay. Is something wrong? Is everything okay?
Well, you know His Highness gets very sick sometimes, right? I don't want to make you feel bad, but it appears he may have overexerted himself over the past couple of weeks when the two of you have been spending time together. It should be okay. He's not in any danger per se, but he definitely needs his rest. So apologies.
Oh, I keep telling him I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make him tired.
We're not here to ask anything of him. He had entrusted me with a favor, and I brought him a gift. And I know if he's not feeling well, that a gift might help raise his spirits.
I'll tell you what I can do. If you all will wait out here, I will open the door, go and bring it inside. You will be able to see that it has been delivered, and then I'll return.
I have a question. Has this guard been... Do we recognize this guard? Is it always the same guard, or is this a different guard?
It's not always the same person, but it is always the same collection of people, so you would recognize him.
Can I do a scent check? Just breathe in through my nose?
Yeah, you may. Roll me perception.
I forgot. Did you say I get advantage on the small ones or just regular?
It's a familiar scent. You can have advantage here. I don't care.
Thank you. Didn't help that much, but it helped some. 11?
Seems pretty normal.
Okay. Yeah.
It's an average roll.
Yeah.
Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do prime awareness again in this location, just to verify if there's anything else they can detect.
There is an aberration that is present, and that is the only thing that you sense at the moment. There is no fiend, and there is no celestial.
What about the special dot?
Not currently present.
Okay. All right, they nod to themselves and looks up at Mer. I guess we give... What would you like to do? Are you going to give him a gift?
I feel like this gift, it really would mean so much to me to put it into His Highness's hands directly. I'm not sure I really feel comfortable leaving it in any sort of interim place. It really belongs to him and only him. For his eyes only, if you will.
As I've said, I'll open the door. You can watch me go inside and bring it to him.
All right. I don't know why you have to be inside as well, but as long as I can put it into his hands directly.
Because I am the help. He will not feel obligated to speak with me.
Is the nature of his illness where he cannot speak?
roll perception.
12.
You hear coughing from the other side. It's not like silent in there. You're hearing coughing periodically throughout this whole conversation.
I mean, perhaps there's something we can do to help him.
Do you know if there's like any ointments or stuff like that that kind of helps during times where it gets rough? We can look out to see if we can gather it and bring it to him.
If it's something to do with his lungs, maybe an herb that he could inhale or something?
My lords, I believe it's likely that the queens had the best healers and clerics available checking on Master Ian's condition. If I might make a suggestion, perhaps we might ask our friend here to deliver a message to our house once Master Ian is up to company.
But do they have vapor rub though? Vapor rub works for everything.
This is true, but a mentholatum and a bit of some paraffin wax, it goes a long way. But in this case,
I could certainly have a message delivered when he is feeling better.
That may be for the best. But,
Very well.
Well, so you don't know anything about like, well, I still would like to help. I feel bad. I want to make sure at least I can do something that brings that coughing as much. I'll do some digging on my own. I'll see if I can do some research. Thank you for letting me know. Please stay safe and be careful. If anything looks suspicious, well, you know what to do. I'm pretty sure you know what to do.
He does actually like chuckle a little bit. Yes, Abrea, I know what to do.
Yay! They look over at the mayor. It's like, okay, I guess we'll come back again.
yes, when His Highness is feeling better. It'll be a more enjoyable visit. We can talk about what you two got up to while we were gone.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But I have to be prepared, so we got to make sure we be more cautious next time and get more vapor rub so he doesn't get the cough fits.
Of course.
Uh,
We'll add that.
Rovna,
We'll make a whole
as-
gift basket.
Yeah, a gift basket.
As we're walking, Mr. Smirnovna, I don't know if we actually told you. Did you know that your brother is becoming quite the skilled warg rider?
This is news. I had seen the impressive new uses of what I can only describe as nature magic, but you have been riding the wargs?
Well, we took a successful ride before you left, but I don't think we got the time to actually tell you.
No, this is news to me.
Yeah, and now I don't even have to use a spell to talk to them. Now I can just talk to them.
Oh, that's lovely. But do they like living with us?
They tolerate it. They it seems to get better over time. They're getting more comfortable with us. But they're not like with no name yet is like happy. Like they're just happy to be around. The hawk, I think they kind of be around, but they kind of miss their home too. They still haven't told me where their home is yet. But like the wargs, they're just like, I'm here. But so it's just like more neutral. It's more apathetic. No, that's too big of a word. More neutral. But it's okay. They still are friendly-ish to us, and I think we just have to play a bigger role to get them have a bigger, more fun experience here.
They were quite understanding last time that if we all work together well, then we can get to a point where we can take them on actual hunts.
And
they seemed quite exciting about that. Quite excited about that.
That was the biggest thing that kind of brought them excitement. Because, it makes sense. They want to enjoy that group pack mentality of wanting to take down a major prey and eat together like a pack. So we're, hopefully we could do that one day.
Do you remember there was that person who claimed to be some kind of mind mage. What was the last name? Freuden or something. Said something about repressed.
Nope. X. Not canon. Destroyed. Destroyed. Rewind.
You called him a mind mage.
A brain witch. There we go. Without the Freud part, still, I think they might still have some, leftover hard feelings about their upbringing or treatment by some of the goblins during their time growing up.
Of course, and
It's going to take them more time to get used to everything.
can you imagine, for the life being out in the open in the wild and getting to explore and go wherever you would like, and then all of a sudden you're trapped in a cage and you can't leave and you're stuck, and sure, people are bringing you food and you have some companionship, but it's different. And I imagine that would make you antsy.
I'm trying to work on that skill of being able to talk to animals myself. It's something that some of the people in my tribe have been able to get done, but I've been busy with other studies, so it's been a long time since I've really tapped into those parts of myself, but I believe I'll get there eventually, and I think more conversations with them about boundaries or, don't eat those people, we can take you places to eat, and who knows, maybe they'll be all right to just come in and out of the pens.
I agree, and I have faith that you can do whatever you put your mind to, and there's only so many hours in a day that you can devote to whatever studies. But yes, I think if they understood, like don't eat people is probably the most important lesson to try and impose on them. I feel like that's lesson number one. I know Shad probably would also agree that that's lesson number one.
I think
Not eat people.
I think we got that in agreed pretty well because we did have a couple issues at the beginning, but we haven't had an issue recently, so
That's good. And maybe, hopefully, someday they can see us as part of their pack. I'd love to go see them. I mean, it's been a while since I had an opportunity to go down to the pens and try and introduce myself to them after so long.
If you like, we can try and you might like to try and take a ride.
I would love that.
Excellent. Oh, DM question. I imagine the extra metal things would have been procured by now, yes? Yes, I actually have one for each member of the household now, of these things. They should be just at the pens, but you can have your very own, so that if you ever feel the need, obviously I wouldn't recommend it alone, because you never know, but if Ilan is there, or myself, or Brea, likely it's should be okay.
I appreciate that. That was very, very considerate of you. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay. Well, so my plan has to wait until, because Ian's the only person I know that could do true sight or true seeing, whatever that thing is called. So I guess we have to wait until he feels better before we can ask. So I guess we just have to keep an eye out. It's just the normal way, I guess. This is hard.
Your brother mentioned something about hunting for rare spell components or some such for profit.
Oh, yeah, we could do that in meantime.
I mean, you've only just returned, but, a good friend of mine is far away at the moment, so I have a lot of free time.
Was that the same friend that challenged you to a duel?
The very same, indeed.
Yeah, you had a special pep in your step when you saw them.
I did indeed. I did indeed. Kurt is a very good man. Reminds me, I need to send another letter.
Yeah, Brad.
Either way.
Brad doesn't know what that the additional aspects behind it. He just sees he just sees that they just see as a really good friends. But
Yeah, no.
Mary
Mary
probably picked up-
definitely gets what Jethrin's throwing down. It's like, I'm very happy that you found someone that means quite a bit to you. It's important to have that sort of companionship.
Indeed, and I've known Kurt for many, many years, and, well, let's just say that sometimes the direct approach is the more obvious approach.
Well, honesty is will get you a lot further, and keeping one's feelings inside isn't always the best way to achieve your goals or get what you want.
I don't believe I was keeping my feelings inside. I just believe either I was very poor at communicating them or the man is quite dense. Either way, once I spelled things out.
I'm confused. Wait, what? I don't understand. Why do you? What fit? Wait, huh? Wait, dense? I don't get it.
Dense, as in, doesn't pick up on subtle clues.
Wait, what were you trying to tell him?
That I would like to be that I would like to be closer friends with him and have lunch with him on more occasions than just once in a while.
Oh, okay. And he didn't understand that you wanted to be close friends?
I think he did. I think he might have just been messing with me. Honestly, I'm also sometimes quite dense.
Oh, that must be hard.
Indeed. Anyway, shall we go and collect the others and take a warg ride, or would we like to do that before we involve Miss Timmons and your older brother in some?
I don't think Timmons and Kashaw would like to ride the works. They didn't really seem to be too interested with the works. What?
Timmons could likely stand up on the back of one of them while one was running and would not fall off.
Well, I can see that.
would not put it past her.
I can see that.
I absolutely believe that is a feat that Timmons is not only capable of, but would handle with grace and aplomb.
And a cup of tea in her hand without spilling a drop.
Yeah, but
Sure.
But I think it'd probably be better if it's just us three, because if it's all five of us, they'd probably be like, no, I don't want to do that.
Fair point. Fair point.
And it might be too many people for the wargs. I don't know how they handle large crowds of people. Not that 5 is a crowd, but it might be to them.
Very true. Very true. Well, to the warg pens then.
To the warg pens.
I imagine the construction's gotten quite far in 2 weeks, hasn't it, DM?
It is done, in fact.
Nice.
So I spent a lot of money on that, so the place should look real good.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It's also probably now impossible for them to escape.
Mm-hmm.
At least by jumping. Previously, there was a bit more of an understanding as the fence was low enough that it could actually be leapt if they had really tried. That is no longer the case. It's actually the metal. It's like the fencing itself stayed about the same size. The metal bars have come up, and there's now like a metal apparatus extending the fence. So the original fence is kind of there, and then like another sort of fence made out of metal almost has been erected around it, if that makes sense.
And then I made sure that there was areas for the other dogs when they come in, when I get them.
Yes.
And that the shack where people would stay to watch them or train them was no longer a shack, at least a better equipped shack.
Right now, it is a better equipped shack.
Yeah.
Erecting an actual building, like a permanent or semi-permanent use building there, is going to be a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
It'll cost you on the order of 500 to 1,000 gold, depending on how nice of a building.
Yeah, the idea was to make it like, okay, someone can actually be relatively comfortable staying there, not like, this is really just a shitty old shack.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's essentially like camping every day, but at least you have walls so you don't get rained on.
Yeah. Well, we've done a lot of upgrades, and it's looking good. Let me go get the things for you, and I'll go inside and I'll give Mare her own. I just call it a war garage. It's just a thing. I can't even remember what they look like, but it's the metal thing that you have to show to them, that they know, hey, this one is not for chomping.
Mm-hmm.
This is beautiful, and they seem to understand, even though they're all a little bit different. They recognize the object the same.
They do indeed, and I will be there, and Arbrea will be there. If you might take your pick, really. I've been trying to. What's the word for it?
Acclimate.
I'm quite muscular, but I'm trying to
Oh, you said heavy.
so I'm trying to keep that musculature, but have it more finely carved. There must be a word for this kind of thing, so that I weigh less, but I do not lose my strength. Because Sasha was complaining that I'm still a little heavy for them. I don't think there's like bodybuilding terminology in this world. I don't know. I want to say he's on a cutting phase.
Yeah,
but
he's ripped. He's trying to go.
It can, unless you know how to do it properly.
It mostly does, actually. Even when you do like your best, you normally still see a decrease between 10 to 30%. Yeah. I know quite well. Not the cutting portion, but I didn't have to worry about cutting. In any case, Abreu will look over like, okay, so I will watch at the wargs, and I can, talk to them, but you should be good. As long as you present this in front of their face, they know that you're a friend, and they'll allow you to write. You still have to be one with the animal, though, because if they don't really like you, they'll probably just stay still.
I will bring some meat in for both of us to make sure that they have a little bit of a snack before we get going.
Yes, and I imagine, just like feeding some of the cats or the chickens. If you go in with food, they're going to like you better.
That is the theory.
Give me an animal handling check with advantage as they are being fed while you're attempting to ride them.
Both of us, right? So, Obrea, you're not riding today.
Yeah, I'm not riding. Yeah, I'm just chilling outside.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary has a +0, so hopefully these rollers good. Come on, fam, you got this.
16.
Yeah. Okay.
23.
The other one was a 7.
Jethrin, they will follow. You're taking, I assume, Sasha, or?
I will take Sasha today because I know that Misha is usually the more amenable to newer people. So I will let Mary ride her, and I shall ride Sasha.
So Jethrin, you are able to ride Sasha, and he follows your commands completely. Like, you could, at the moment, you're hitting your groove well enough that you could probably be battling while riding Sasha right now. Like, you could be fighting from Wargback right now, and you'd be effective as a combatant.
Nice.
Mare, it's a little clunky. Misha doesn't really understand like your signals yet. and you don't really know what signals to give either, so it kind of makes sense. She does let you ride. It's more of like stop and go, as she kind of like tries to follow your signals, doesn't really know where you're trying to indicate, but realizes you're trying to say go and just sort of like trots around.
I'm giving, while I'm riding Sasha, I'm actually giving him little neck nuzzles with my neck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm holding on and trying to figure it out, and probably at some point, if we're close enough and not moving too quickly, ask Jethrin, what? So this is great and all, but is there is there a particular thing I should be doing for stop and go? It seems like they don't respond the same way a horse would.
This is true. This is true. Without the bridle and such, without the saddle, it's a bit different. But honestly, I've kind of found that it all depends on where you're putting your hands and sort of like the neck fur. Like you're holding on and you're keeping yourself tight with your thighs, etc. But you don't want to pull their hair out. It's more like you want to find a way to hold on, and then you can sort of squeeze with one leg if you want to go left, and squeeze with the other leg if you want to go right. And to stop, usually I just sort of like pat them on the side of the neck where I'm holding, and then usually it's a bit of a stop.
All right. And as he's explaining, I'm trying to mimic the motions as Jethrin's explaining them, which, of course, poor Misha. Probably getting a little confused. Like, wait, left? No, right? No. What is this strange human on my back doing with her thighs? So yeah.
Luckily, Misha has the milder temperament, so despite being confused, she doesn't really lash out.
Mm-hmm.
You are an absolutely lovely animal. Thank you very, very much for allowing me this opportunity to ride you.
Abrea would translate that to Misha. Like, she says thank you for being such a great companion.
Misha responds, "This human is weird."
Yeah, it's going to take some time. She's not really like Jethrin and I. She was complaining about like mud in the woods, so it could we just have to get used to it. But she's great. She's really great. When you get to know her.
Mayor, make me one animal handling check. No advantage this time. 18. You notice that Misha moves in a way that makes it difficult for you to hang on, but you manage to.
Easy.
Abrea, would you mind telling both these wonderful, wonderful animals that I'm very, very proud of them, and if they would like, I will ask my pack leader, I guess would be good language for them, if we can go on a hunt with them.
Oh, yeah, okay. They'll translate that, ask them if they will want to go on the hunt.
You get the animal version of meh.
Oh.
They don't seem that excited by a hunt, but there's no negativity like I won't do that either.
They're social. I was not as excited as before. I guess they're more chill right now.
All right.
What? Is there a specific reward or treat or?
Wait, before.
Like?
Usually the hunt is like the big thing. But I guess maybe they're just getting more used to the pen.
Maybe. Is there anything we can do for them right now?
Do you want something like, what are you really craving? And they'll ask Sasha and Misha. Like, do you want like a lot of food? Is there a specific food you like? Like, what would you really like?
People.
She tells you that Misha tells you that she wants boar.
Oh, They went boar.
They've been mostly eating like the deer that you all had gotten, and maybe was there like a little bit of dire lion being fed to them too, or no?
Yeah. I think there was a bit.
So yeah, Misha says she wants some boar.
A boar. They want some boar. We can find it, right?
We can.
Okay, we'll go ahead and find you some.
Be easy enough to arrange.
So are you all going off to find some boar?
I think we were going to check in with Kashad and Timmons first, right?
Okay. Kashad and Timmons, is anything ongoing at the house while they are away?
I was going to see Lady Brightweaver.
Okay. Timmons, what you doing?
I guess that depends on if I know that Kashad's going to see Lady Brightweaver or not.
I mean, hiding, not sneaking off.
You watch as Kashad is about to leave the house. You just kind of see him like walking by you, not really paying you any mind.
Mr. Kashad?
Miss Timmons?
I do hate to impose, but I was wondering if I could request to accompany you on your business.
There is a delicate nature to my business. Are you sure you wish to be involved?
I would not presume to know better than you as to my involvement, but I would request that you not travel alone.
Very well, it may look odd. You may accompany me.
Very good, sir.
Okay. Well, I think this is a good time for us to pause and take our break. Okay. Kashad is on the way to see Lady Talia Brightweaver, correct?
This is correct.
And Timmons is going to be accompanying you despite the fact that it might look weird, correct?
She's coming because it would look weird that she was not there.
Ah, got it. Understood. So, Timmons is coming along. You all travel. You did have Lady Talia Brightweaver's address, so I assume you just head there?
This is correct.
Do you send any sort of word beforehand or any sort of message beforehand that you're going to be coming?
I will send a runner when I am close enough that it would be impolite to refuse the meeting.
So, like 5 minutes out, you send a runner to send the text of like, "Hey, we're 5 minutes out."
we're like 10 blocks away. I don't know how this city does distance, but
okay.
Yes.
So that would be about a 10-minute walk. So they'd probably end up having about 5 minutes of warning by the time the runner gets there. Okay.
32 medium-sized chicken lengths.
I'm doing this.
You're going into timeout, sir.
I'm not doing this. On the way there, Kashad will use his ability to inform Timmons. Notify me if anything is amiss or if Lady Brightweaver appears to be lying to me. Your eye is quite good.
Of course, Mr. Shaw.
Yeah, you'll go.
You arrive. It is not a wizard tower, but in the manner there is stylistically one tower that kind of comes up about a floor above over the house. Looks like it could be used as some sort of a watchtower or something. The house itself is actually made of stone, which is not especially common like architecture, so that it sort of like aesthetically blends into the tower a bit better. It's almost like a keep, but with none of the defenses that one would traditionally like associate with the keep, I suppose. And good.
Before we get there, I will have see invisibility and detect thoughts cast.
You will precast detect thoughts and see invisibility. How long does detect thoughts last?
About a minute. So right before I get there, detect thoughts goes up. But invisibility is an hour.
How close to the building are you when you cast it?
Like, just close enough that it's right outside, but it's not rude to, like, stand on someone's door and cast a spell. So, like, you know, that walk up. In modern day, it'd be like the driveway. It'd be like the driveway in modern times.
If you had to give me a distance.
6 feet. 6 feet.
The spell...
It's like 6 feet.
The spell fails.
Interesting.
Sorry, did you say something, sir?
No.
Very good.
Still continue.
Still continue, knock on the door?
Yes.
Okay. Surprisingly, it is not a servant that answers. It is Lady Talia Brightweaver herself. She opens the door, notices that it's you. You see an eyebrow cock in curiosity, and she says, Kashad, I was not expecting you today, although I did receive a word that you would be joining me about 5 minutes ago. To what do I owe this pleasure? She steps out of the way to allow you inside.
You enter. I was hoping to have a albeit brief conversation. I believe you were interested in some spell components from the arms of Justikar?
Indeed. That is business that is important. Come in, and don't mind the mess. I was teaching. You do see there are 3 other female spellcasters present. There is a ornate table, and on that table is a collection of different spell components. And you can see that each of the individuals is in the midst of practicing incantations.
Depends. This is to be expected for a house with your reputation.
I appreciate you saying so. Come, I have another room. And so you all leave this entry area if you follow her.
Mm-hmm.
She leads you to what you can imagine based on the decor is probably her personal study, or at least the study of someone else who lives in the house.
Very impressive. I hope I was not interrupting anything.
Well, I only have a few minutes, otherwise the students will start running the show, and that just won't do. But I do have a few minutes. You're asking about the spell components. I take it you're interested in this task?
I am. I'm currently looking to improve my own command over the circles, and if you believe we could help each other out in that respect.
I do believe that we could. Certainly, if you were to take up such a task, I would at least feel good about the fact that I was sending a competent man off to do business for me, and I would greatly appreciate it. What questions could I answer to let you know whether or not such work would be of interest to you?
What are the nature of the components? Start there, so I know what I'm looking for.
There are several. I can provide you with some drawings, paintings, and some notes. But in particular, there is a flower that you would be looking for. There is a root. There are 2 kinds of mushrooms. There is the horn of a magical creature that would be of note, and rarely is... It's sort of like an arcane crystal formed by a rare magical creature. that they sometimes leave behind when they leave their nests.
Based on the description of those items, can I figure out what kind of spell she's trying to do? Can I reverse engineer the spell?
Roll me an Arcana check.
So that's a 9 on the dice. So I'm going to use, was it magical guidance or inspiration or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Magical guidance.
Well, does a 14 fail?
It does.
Okay, then I will use a thingy to reroll that. I rolled another 9. This dice hate me, dog. What did I do? So with the 14.
Oof. So what you are able to ascertain is that based on such components, they're various, and it likely means that there's not one spell, which is why you're having trouble kind of piecing it together. There are components that could be utilized for at least 2, possibly even more different spells.
You do not mind my curiosity. It seems outside of those last few that you are dealing with nature-based magic. It's different from what I'd expected.
Indeed. The flower makes people it makes people more suggestible and susceptible to arcane influence. The root is associated with a possible healing spell that is an arcane in nature, but that I believe I'm on the cusp of figuring out. The mushrooms are... they're mostly for transmutation sort of magics. They enhance things like disguise self or seeming or other transmutations magics. Have you heard of Tensor's transformation?
Have I heard of it in character?
Roll me a separate Arcana check. You're going for DC of 17.
We're not doing this. We're using the dice roller.
The DC 17.
God, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it again. 24. Finally.
You have heard of Tensor's transformation. It's a spell. It's not especially common. You know that certain like circles and schools of thought would kind of look down on such a thing, as it typically is used by wizards who find themselves in more hand-to-hand situations. And, many wizards are of the opinion that if you find yourself in such a situation, you have already made a grave error. So you have heard of it. You do know what it does.
Martial magic. Are you looking to diversify your skill set?
Not specifically. I have a student that has some special talents in the sphere. I'm more interested in it from a theory standpoint.
I'm not exactly an expert on the history or the theoretical magics, but do you believe you can change its purpose somehow?
Potentially. Things that are transmutation in base tend to be rather malleable, as it is of their nature to change.
Quite interesting. Well, I will do what I can for these items. Is there anything else in the area? I know that the arms can be quite treacherous. Anything I should be aware of?
I'm I'm sorry, give me a moment. I don't know why I wasn't prepared for this, but I did not have it up. I need to look at the general threats are. See what Talia might know. Yes. Well, so one of the largest problems is that the arms of Justicar have no animals of a regular variety. Anything you might find there is dire in nature as basis. That makes it quite dangerous. It also makes it quite good for training if you can learn your way about, as such beasts are difficult to kill. You have a capable house. I'm certain that that won't be an issue to you. The magical creatures themselves can be more of a threat, as some of them are nearly impervious to magic and have various magical means of deceiving or attacking people.
Interesting. Have you ever, or has anyone to your knowledge ever attempted to domesticate such creatures?
No. I'm not sure such a thing would be possible.
Well, I will ensure that we are able to come across as many of your goals as possible. If you don't mind another moment of your time, what do you know of the creatures referred to as aberrations?
I suppose a great deal. You have a specific aberration that you believe is of a threat to you?
Do I know the name of the aberration that I encountered so long ago, Dungeon Master?
I would say probably not.
Do I remember it enough to use minor illusion to make a copy of it that's smaller?
Probably.
I will hold his hand and cast minor illusion on this creature.
Interesting. Well, that's highly ironic.
How so?
Well, it's just ironic that you would be using a minor illusion spell to show me a depiction of a master of illusions.
That's so. Do you know the name of this creature?
I'm afraid that I don't. They go by a couple different names. Some people call them mind wipers. Some people call them illusionists. The region that would know the most about them, well, that would likely be the Giant, if you were brave enough to venture there. But otherwise, there's some magicians of ill repute in the south, nearby the necromantic woods, who study such things.
I see. Do you know how to locate such creatures or aberrations in general?
As in how to summon one?
No, if one is already around, how to find it. Similar to how you would track common animal.
Any aberration or this kind in particular?
This kind, but also any others. I would like to be aware before I end up coming across one.
there are weapons that can alight when you are in danger. I would guess that such an enchantment could be adapted by the right mage to instead glow in warning when one is near an aberration in particular, even if one is not in danger.
And would you be capable of such a task?
Certainly. I imagine there are other spellcasters in the kingdom who would be capable of such things too. The issue is that such a powerful enchantment would definitely necessitate going to the Isle.
I have wanted to travel there for quite a while. But I suppose that would have to wait until we are both far less busy than we are.
If you can find the arcane crystal, then I will perform the enchantment for no fee in addition to the payment. It's exceptionally rare. Such a great find would necessitate such a gesture being returned in kind.
Very well. I will endeavor to find this crystal. Before I depart from you, one other question. What can you tell me about the Infernal?
The language or the entities?
The entities.
Well,
And
I
might
happen
pay very close attention to her when she answers this.
to be able to speak their language. So if for some reason you find yourself in a situation unfortunate enough to need to communicate with them, I suppose that I could be of assistance there. However, I recommend not dabbling in the infernal.
Agreed. Well, I thank you for your time. I'll allow you to return to your students.
Did you want to insight check her in particular?
Yes, I did.
Like specifically? Yeah.
Can I insight check the both of them? Because I'm getting new information about Kashad's past as well.
So I'll say that you have to pick, actually, in this circumstance.
Okay, I'll pick her.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, the 2 and a 1.
I got a 27.
Yuck.
I hate you.
There is a thread there that you could pull on that she clearly does not want you to, but you do trust her at her word that she believes that one should not dabble in the infernal, and furthermore that she does not. It's just there's something else lingering in the background that she clearly doesn't want to talk about.
With that 27, do I feel confident also about how truthful she's been for the rest of this conversation?
I will say yes, but we can't. It feels unfair to me to ask to retroactively apply a very good roll to the rest of the conversation.
Well, I'm happy to roll it separately. I sent you a message a while back about insight checking them, but
You should.
I mean, my passive is also 19. If you'd rather use that for general conversation.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. We'll use the general. Generally speaking, it does not seem like she's lying about anything. It seems like she's fairly knowledgeable and that she tries, as a trained habit, not to speak wherein she does not have knowledge. You pick up on that.
Got it.
Right, well, I will allow you to return to your walk. I thank you for seeing me on such short notice.
Oh, by the way, what types of magic do you specialize in? Perhaps I can recommend some components that you should be looking out for while you're traveling.
is correct. The schools would be enchantment, divination, and illusion.
There is a particular magical creature that is said to have some special foresight that is in its own nature. Were you able to obtain the eye of such a creature, it would be extremely useful for increasing the power and potency of any divination magic that you might want to do. The flower would be useful for any enchantment were you to find enough of it that you felt comfortable getting a bunch for me, as well as getting some for yourself. It is not so rare as some of the other components, so it shouldn't be too difficult. That would be useful for any of your enchantment spells. I'm afraid I'm not that accomplished in terms of illusion magic, but I would say that could you figure out a way to expose them to its influence? The flower would likely help you with illusion magic as well.
I'll keep that in mind.
Naturally. Good day, Kashad.
Good day. It's time for us to leave, Timmons.
I follow Kashad.
Okay, the two of you leave.
When we're going through where the students are downstairs, do I recognize any of them? Have I met any of them before or know of their families?
Are you actively looking and risking that she might notice that, or are you just relying on your passive perception?
I'm actively looking. I don't think that it's rude to be aware of the people in the room.
Okay.
So
Please roll it.
I would keep an eye out for any obvious bad things. Like if there's to taking up the kingdom, that kind of thing.
I will DM you.
Ooh.
Okay, thank you.
Timmons has secrets.
I'm getting the whole back of the book. Oh, there we go. Noted. Thank you.
It took a bit to type because special things going on. Indeed.
Once they leave far enough, I will use my ability to speak to Timmons again. Do you notice anything?
Lady Brightweaver seemed truthful in her understanding of the situation and her desire to have a mutually beneficial relationship between the two of you. I don't believe at any point she attempted to lie to you. She seems rather particular in that way.
It's very odd. Let me know if you hear anything strange about her in the coming weeks.
Of course. Did you get what you needed?
I received enough information. prepare our carriage once we return. I have a feeling that we will be going on a trip soon.
Of course not.
They will head back to the house.
So I will warn you. If you intend to travel by land, it's going to take you at least 5 weeks to get there.
How long does it take by boat?
3.
It's fast. Does Kingdom owns boats, right? We can just do that. How much does that cost?
Would it be easier to send folks to do it instead?
Get a boat to take all of you all the way there.
And back too.
You're going to have them dock at your leisure and await your return to go back, or you'll be getting 2 boats.
Okay, listen, that sounds like it's pricey. We aren't that wealthy.
I mean, I'm just asking. Like, generally, it's expensive to ask ship to stop all operations for any extended period of time.
No, we'll just get picked up on the return trip. You know, when you come back around again, we'll get on the boat.
Okay. So the one-way passage would be 60 gold per person. So with all of you that are going, I think that's 300 gold.
Would it be possible?
300 gold each way.
Correct.
So 600 gold round trip probably.
Would it be?
Yeah.
Would it
At
be
least
possible?
with no bargaining. I mean, you could always try to bargain, but that's the price they name when asked.
Just for my personal curiosity, how much would it cost to just have the boat wait for us?
For how long?
I don't know. How long does it take to do this? A month? A week? I don't know. 2 weeks? I've never gone on an expedition before in real life. I don't know.
You're probably looking at like, for the boat you would be taking, you'd probably be looking at like a $500 gold a week idle fee. That would be what they would tell you. Kashad would know that, Kashad would know that, that would be what they would name, but you could probably talk them as low as 300 gold a week idling fee.
Would it be possible for the mercenaries to get sent out there instead? Or is it something that probably will require our hands to be able to dive in? Just curious, just because I'm assuming 5 weeks, that's 5 weeks away from not being able to track the shape changer. So that's why I was just like,
Where is this place? Is it the? Oh, I zoned
deep
out
south.
a little bit. We're going
To the southwest,
It's on
southwest.
the little islands, right?
This way. It's this way from
Okay.
us. Yeah.
It's down there by the handle. So you're going to Shay's place, and then a month of land travel past Shay's place. Entirely through another territory. Actually, entirely through basically the largest territory, and then to the Arms of Jessicar. So all the way through Dargonia, all the way through Gringaria, and then to Arms of Jessicar.
Well, you will bring this information to the others.
I don't know if this is something that they do, but Do House Slatewing ever transport people? Because I hear they transport people to the front. How fast and how much would they charge to take us by Griffin?
So asking a tough question.
That'd be pretty cool.
You could probably get there in like a week at most.
Oh.
But you would be essentially asking them for like 5 griffins, right? So you could arrange. You could arrange this, but it would be probably expensive, and you would need to play your "Remember That Favor We Did You" card.
Yeah, I was about to say we do have goodwill.
Yeah, you'd essentially be spending that goodwill asking for a favor.
But we can discuss this once in character and see what happens.
All right.
I kind of want to see what happens.
So, I mean, you have a slate wing working for you.
Yeah.
They would be able to tell you. So he will tell you that essentially they will ask for 200 each for each person, but they'll take 100 since you've done them a favor. It's just they're going to come in high to try to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Like a round trip, though?
A round trip?
Yeah. Was that one way or a round trip?
I mean, a round trip would be 200, yeah. After you talk them down.
Foster, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Sure.
that's the
We have to
basic.
carry stuff. We have to carry stuff.
The griffins are large, right? They'll be able to support. Well, it also depends upon how big these animals are too. Though we don't know how big they are. If they're gristle size, it's great. If they're the size of a dire lion, well, that's a problem.
I go with the boat. I kind of want to be on a boat.
But just to clarify, it's also possible for the mercenary folks to come by and do it instead. Just because if they do it, we can still be around to address like all of the plot lines of like who tried to kill our sister and all other folks. So you know. Oh, Murray, you're muted, I think.
Oh no, I was just talking very quietly.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It is something that you can do.
Oh, it's something we can do. Okay.
She said dire lion. She said dire beast.
Yeah, no, that's going splat for our mercenaries in my opinion.
Oh, that's true.
It killed me. It literally killed me. I think
She said there are no normal animals there. Right.
So if you sent everyone that you had available, you'd be sending a level 4 fighter, a level 3 fighter, a level 3 fighter, a level 2 fighter, and a level 1 ranger. So you'd be sending like roughly a CR 2.5-ish party.
Sounds like a party wipe to me.
Well, a dire lion is a CR2, if I remember correctly. That's just one. Yeah.
So they could probably, if you sent all of your mercenaries, they could probably handle the dire beasts. The issue would be actually hunting the magical creatures to try to get those components. They could avoid them and then not get any of the rare stuff that comes from the magic creatures. But if they were trying to get any of the more rare components, they'd probably be in a lot of danger.
Mm-hmm.
The rare stuff is worth about 40,000 gold pieces.
Magical adventure.
That was the crystal in particular.
That seems like a adventure well worth our time.
40? Wait, you were serious about that? Worth 40,000 gold?
Yeah, 40,000 gold pieces.
The crystal, yeah.
In the downtime chart, it says 40,000.
At the very least, we could send the regular members of our household to go hunt some boar for Misha and Sasha. That would probably be...
I was actually about to ask Domo if he would mind hunting some more for them.
Take some time for the griffins and things to be ready. We always just have to finish our other projects before then. And then we will take our trip. If anyone has an issue with that,
Are we taking the griffins?
we'll speak with them if it is possible, and based on what we could find, then we will work that out. If not, I will procure a ship for a time.
Well, so what do we do about the shape changer? Because if we could be gone for a long time, like how do we make sure like Ian and the Queen and everyone stay safe?
We will look into it for 2 weeks, but unfortunately, I don't believe we are anywhere any closer to solving that particular mystery.
Ian does feel pretty sick. I don't know how long. Do I recall like when he gets into one of these circumstances of like working too hard, how long it normally takes for Ian to feel recovered in a way? Is it usually like a day or two, or is it more like they have to rest for like a couple of weeks or so?
Best case, 2 days. Worst case, probably about a week.
Wait, where are you getting that information?
I will rejoin you all at a moment, if I may. I have some holy matters I need to attend to.
Okay.
Very well.
Before I go to the temple, I just want to stop in at Elon quickly. And I'm going to give him a note and say, I have a question. And I know this is maybe not going to happen, but I will ask you anyway. What are the odds that you might ask one of your cousins or brothers or sisters or whoever that are traveling to the front speedily to give this to Kurt Spiderglade?
Roll a persuasion check.
All right. I think that's pretty good, actually. Yeah, 18.
I will make sure that someone takes it with them.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I will see you later. Oh, by the way, once again, excellent job with the wargs. Lady Monrovia took her first ride today. She seemed to enjoy it.
Excellent. Glad to be of service.
Make my way to the temple, walking fast.
Okay. You go to the temple.
Do I see... who do I see around? Any of the clerics? Is it possible to get an audience with the honored one, or is that something that usually takes a bit of time?
You can always try.
I will try.
Okay. Give me a moment. He is not available at the moment.
Okay.
They ask if you'd like to set an appointment for 2 days from now.
I don't think that will be necessary. Is there anyone else that I can talk to? Just regarding
Certainly.
matters of faith.
Matters of faith. The sort that requires the current highest ranking member, or just someone for a conversation?
Well, it is not my place to really say who would be the best skilled in these matters. I have questions regarding the upcoming assignment, and I just wanted to discuss it with somebody who might be knowledgeable in these matters.
Okay. Let me see who's available.
Thank you.
They return about 2 minutes later. Following behind them is someone wearing plate mail.
Do I recognize the person, cleric or paladin or someone I know?
How much time do you spend at this temple?
It's the closest one, yeah. So, I imagine I come here relatively often, you know. Definitely not here every day, but at least every 2 or 3 days if I can. Just once to go in and say some prayers, etc.
Okay, so you're possibly generally familiar with the structure then, at least of the paladins. There are 5 paladins that go to this temple. The 5 paladins who come to this temple, there's one for each deity. So you would actually be the paladin who comes to this temple of Anasvite.
Okay.
The one that you see before you is the one who follows Gareg, the deity of balance.
So I'm confused. I thought there was a temple for each of the deities separately. But there's not?
Yes, but my understanding was you were going to the main temple. The main temple.
I want to go to the one of Anasvite, the one that I'm supposed to meet at in like a couple of weeks. Is that this temple or a different temple?
Here's where I got confused. You talked about going to meet the honored one, who would be at the main temple.
Oh, I thought that was the name of the the high priest at the temple of Anasvite.
No. Harold Jurgen is the honored one. He is like, for lack of a better term, the archmage of clerics.
Okay.
So he's afforded respect even from people who might follow other deities, just due to him being the most powerful cleric inside Darkstar.
Okay. Well, that's probably not the person I wanted to see. I wanted to see the person who was at the temple that I'm supposed to meet at. And
okay, so we need to rewind because things have not happened the way that you intended them to do, and apparently I was confused. So you go to the temple of Anasvite. You ask to speak to the cleric that you had previously had a conversation with that told you about the meeting that you were to call people to.
that's
That person is available and you are able to speak with them.
okay. Excellent. I don't know what time of day it is. Good afternoon. What do I call them? Cleric. What title would I give this person? Do I know this person's name?
I'm but a humble servant.
Okay, so I guess I call him cleric then.
Yeah, I mean, did you get their name last time? I don't think you did.
I don't know if I got their name. That's why I thought they were the honored one. I had that all completely confused.
I mean, you could address them as high priest. They would be the high priest of this temple.
All right. Okay. Sure. Good afternoon or good evening, whatever time of day it is, High Priest.
Good afternoon.
I have some questions, if you may have a bit of time to speak with me. Just regarding our gathering that we're having here.
Very well. I do have time, and I have ears to listen and a mouth to reply to your questions. What questions do you have?
Are we to undertake some quest or some such? Have I been told about that thing yet? Nobody's told me yet, have they?
I don't know what you mean by that thing.
This person to be chosen or something like that. Or no one's has Abra even mentioned that to people? I don't know if Abra's mentioned that to people.
So what, to be chosen?
Yes.
Someone to be chosen. I don't think.
You remember when Ian became a channeler of history?
Oh, Brad hasn't mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm not asking things that I've already been told questions here.
Oh no!
Right.
Everything that happened that was like personal conversations with Ian has definitely been kept under wraps. The only thing they shared from their ordeal was pretty much what you were there beforehand. After that,
Okay.
Yeah, after that, pretty much they kept it a secret because you were on bad terms.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah. So, I know that followers of Anaspita are meeting in roughly 10 weeks or so here, paladins and clerics and such. As you asked me, I've managed to be in contact with a few people. I would very much like to know why. Is there something that I need to be concerned of? Is there a reason why this is happening only with followers of Manasvite and not happening at the Grand Temple? Or
Please hold, my child. You have asked me many questions without giving me the opportunity to reply. Which question would you like me to address first?
why are we meeting?
I cannot say.
Because you don't know, or
If I knew, such information would have been conveyed to me through my own personal conversations with Anas Vitae, and therefore it would have been such that I could not reveal it based on those conversations.
I follow your logic. Do you know if this is something to be concerned about?
We all have our daily toils. There are a great many things to be concerned about. I think this should be low on your priority list. Certainly, spread the word. Make sure that people come. But there is no impending danger that you would be better off being aware of.
All right. I have another question that I have been meaning to ask those more learned than myself in such things. Would you be able to tell me something about what were they called again? Aberrations, I believe they're called.
Perhaps. Are you having troubles with a specific creature?
Potentially. I'm afraid I know very little about the subject.
One would think that you would be aware if such a creature was causing you problems.
Perhaps, but I'm not sure what kinds of creatures there are that fit this bill exactly. So I suffice it to say that there are problems that are being caused. I have not been directly impacted as of yet. However, that could change. And I find myself ill-prepared to face whatever these things are.
There are holy artifacts that are difficult to craft that perhaps I or one of the other temple heads or perhaps the honored one have such capability to be able to craft that would allow one to repel such creatures, at least within a small area.
I believe I'm able to, through the grace of an Osprey, more or less keep a few things at bay, but my problem is that I don't know much or anything about them. You've used the word creatures. Are they all creatures? Are they big? Are they small? Do you have a book on lore that I might borrow to study about these beings?
What can you tell me about animals?
Quite a lot.
Please start.
I'm beginning to understand why I became a paladin, not a cleric.
This is the question that you're asking me. It's difficult to know where to begin. There's much that could be said. You've asked me, what do you know about animals?
All right. Well, what are...
There are all shapes and sizes of aberrations. Some of them are made of ooze. Some of them are said to be creatures from other planes that have escaped here. Some are said to be the dreams and horrific fascinations of children or the mentally evil, perhaps. There are some that are said to prey on the mind, some that are said to prey on the flesh. There's just a great many things. There are aberrations, things that are outside our normal and traditional understandings.
All right. Now we have a frame of reference, which is beginning to be exceptionally helpful. Thank you. So let me narrow down some of my scope. Are you aware of any of these creatures and or beings that might disguise themselves in the shape of another person? Not an illusion, mind you. A complete disguise. A change of shape.
Sounds more like devil trickery to me.
All right. Well, if we had to go that route, there are, through my duties, perhaps possible fiendish sources that might fit some of this bill as well. I am doing my duties as much as possible. I understand a bit more about the classifications of fiends, but to be able to change one's shape, to be very convincing, what kind of fiend would be capable of such a thing? I don't believe imps are capable of something to that effect, as far as I know.
They're not. I'm a bit confused, Sir Cloudpaw.
I am happy to answer questions.
It's just that you came to me asking me if you should be concerned about a meeting, correct?
Indeed.
And now you're asking me a bunch of questions about aberrations and fiends.
Indeed.
Should I be concerned about your interest in aberrations and fiends, Sir Cloudfall?
Most definitely.
So then, why would I answer this question?
Well, your concern would help me alleviate your concern. Let's put it that way.
Let me ask you a question, Sir Cloudpaw. If you come across a man and he's been stabbed on the street, to heal him, do you stab him again?
Likely not, no.
That feels a bit like what you're asking me to do. To fix my concern by discussing the things that I'm concerned about, while it rather seems like stabbing a man in the street who's been stabbed.
Does it? That's logic I don't follow, I must be honest. I am, among many things, hopefully, an arm that seeks to preserve life. And if I had information, I would be able to be more effective at that.
The fiend that I'm aware of that is most adept at shapeshifting is called a Rakshasa.
That sounds like a dance move. I quite like it.
Do you often deflect serious matters with humor?
Well, I was being quite serious, but I don't believe I know what a Rakshasa is. Let me roll a religion check if I may.
Sure. Roll exceptionally high.
I did not roll well at all.
Yeah, you don't know.
Nope. I rolled a 9, so yeah, no, I don't know. Well, I do actually. I like to try to keep things light to help put a smile on people's faces and alleviate situations which are clearly tense. I do not know of this fiend, however.
I see. They are quite deceptive. They have a tendency to blend among humans and have a natural resistance to magics. But
Interesting.
if you can catch sight of their hands, their shapeshifting is imperfect, and you will notice that the hands are backwards.
Always?
Indeed.
Huh. That's exceptionally useful. Thank you. Chithrin looks at his hands pointedly. Nope, you seem alright, I think. DM, tell me, does he seem alright?
Jethrin or the cleric?
The cleric.
You actually cannot see his hands currently. They're clasped behind his back.
So I will hold up my 2 hands. Well, I know I'm okay. How about yourself?
He pulls his hands out, shows them to you. They are fine.
Fantastic.
Third Cloudpaw, the Rakshasa is exceptionally dangerous. This is a serious matter. Please do not get yourself killed by engaging such a creature.
Oh, I would hope that I do not get killed.
If one is present, we should be discussing this with the honored one, for there is likely no one else that could stand to defeat such a creature.
I apologize, and that it's been quite a busy few weeks. And your name slips my mind at the moment, and it feels impersonal discussing these things with you as simply High Priest. Is there something you prefer?
Certainly. My name is Ural.
Wonderful. With URL or YURL? Okay, I was close the second time. Ural, priest of Anakin. No, I'm just trying to shorthand here. Anna. Right, quickly. All right. Oh gosh. Would you mind terribly, Ural, if there's something that I would like to tell you. However, I am a little bit worried. Might I cast a spell? It is a protection spell. You would likely know it yourself.
Protection spell?
Yes.
Which protection spell?
It should protect you from. Actually, no, that's not the one that I'm going to cast. I'm gonna rephrase that. A detection spell, just to detect if there are any magical things that I do not want to be here.
Very well. Although this is a temple, it is protected.
Indeed, but if this fiend is as powerful as you say, I will cast Detect Magic. I do have that spell. It's prepared for today. Any pings or anything from any kind of like scrying sensors or anything? I wouldn't see it, but I would feel
Do
it.
not sense any scrying sensors. You do sense a number of magical items on Ural himself, but that's the only thing of note.
Okay. I believe I'm going to phrase this in such a way that I will allow hopefully you to give me counsel. There is likely somebody within the capital that is not who they claim to be, that is disguising themselves as others, sometimes in positions of everyday people, sometimes in positions of those highly in power.
Fortunately, Sir Cloudpaw, I must say there's a great number of people that are doing just that.
This is one that, through means, we've confirmed that they change their shape. Often. So perhaps it would be wise for those quietly within the faith to keep their eyes open. Quietly.
Something that we always do. Though it is interesting, the Rakshasa tends to become comfortable in one shape. It's not often that they bounce back and forth pretending to be a great number of people. They become comfortable in a role, normally some sort of role that puts them in a position of authority or power, and they stay there.
I will take my leave for now, Ural.
Very well.
Thank you. You've been of great assistance. Jethman's going to sprint home.
Okay, you do so.
Okay. And depending on where people are, the first person he'll come to is Kashad, I guess. And he'll go ahead and cast Detect Magic again, because I'm assuming it's more than 10 minutes.
It has been more than 10 minutes.
Do I feel like there's any sensors around?
Nope.
I'll also cast Divine Sense. Are there any demons in the room?
Not that you're aware of.
All right, fantastic. Whew, that was a good run. Master Kashad, we have a very big problem. Have you ever heard of a Rakshasa?
Yeah, I heard of a Rakshasa 100 minutes.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Anyone else can be there, by the way.
Actually, it needs to be religion.
Jethron was just making his way straight and probably being quite loud because he was literally running to wherever Kashad was in whatever room he was in. So you would have all heard big, meaty paw steps running on the floor.
You have no idea.
I don't know what that is. Jethro.
Sounds like a dance move.
It does,
Right?
He does not think that.
A fiend of incredible power, I have been told, that often changes shape and assumes the form of someone exceptionally powerful if it gets comfortable in that form. I will note that we have, through Master Abrea's means, detected a fiend within range of the castle. I have been told of a way that a person can tell if this is one of the beings that disguised, that their hands would be backwards.
So we have this information on good authority.
I didn't hear that, sorry.
You have this information on good authority?
Yes, I went to the Temple of Anasvate to ask some questions about our aberration and fiend issue that we've been feeling around the area, as I did not have enough information myself. I do not believe the aberration is the issue for shape changing, but the fiend is becoming a much more likely candidate.
Based on recent memory, has anyone I've seen been obsessive about not showing their hands?
No, although it occurs to you that you haven't actually directly seen the queen in a while.
You believe that the queen has been impersonated, correct?
Yes.
And he will stand and lead Jethro towards the... I assume we have like a vault or a safe or a box.
A panic room.
Where we put our gold. We have something to that effect. He will go over there and he will reach inside and pull out 400 gold. Go down to the market and purchase these very specific items. A glass eye and a horn. There's a spell that I can cast to see the queen in her current appearance, but it would probably be quite troublesome if people were to find out about it, so be discreet, or as discreet as you can be.
As you wish, my lord. I was told that apparently these beings are exceptionally powerful and resistant to a lot of magic. And that if this is something we're dealing with, Perhaps the only person capable of defending against it would be the Honored One.
Let's hope that we're not dealing with such a creature.
But I will go to the market for you, my lord. You want me to buy spell components, right? That's okay.
Detherin going to the market, and Kashad hoping against hope that this is not the creature that you all are actually dealing with. Seems like a good time to end this episode.
Ooh, okay. For everyone out there, please put prayers in chat that we hopefully are not dealing with Rakshasa. Stress levels are high. Send fish oil pills to this P.O. box. And we shall see you all next episode for episode 5 of Reclamation. But until then, farewell for now.